Hello and welcome to this pronoun and gender inclusive language video for the University of St Andrews. For many people, pronouns and titles are taken for granted or go completely unnoticed in their daily lives. However, increasing numbers of people are aware of the complexity of their own identities and how pronouns and titles are important signifiers of gender. Despite a growing awareness of the gender spectrum, many people still feel awkward when interacting with transgender and non-binary people. By discussing best practices surrounding gendered language, we can empower people to feel more confident and comfortable when addressing gender-diverse people and topics. Following a growing demand by members of the university community for clearer support and guidance specifically regarding the use of gendered pronouns, a collaboration of staff and students have developed this video. Our goal is to equip people with some language and knowledge to help them treat trans and non-binary community members with respect and dignity.
For many people, gender's a lot more complex than just whether they're a man or a woman. This complexity can take many forms, with some people experiencing their gender as different from their assigned sex at birth. Additionally, some identify their gender as somewhere between or outside of being exclusively a man or a woman, while others don't identify with a specific gender at all.
In English, people are familiar with the feminine pronouns she, her, and hers, and the masculine pronouns he, him, and his. However, some people choose, for a variety of reasons, to use gender-neutral pronouns. The most common ones used are they, them, and theirs, but there are other gender-neutral pronouns, including sie, her, and hers, vi, wir, and vis, sie, them, and theirs, and em, and ears. While these neo-pronouns have only been in use for the last few decades, the singular they has existed in modern English for the last couple of centuries. Many people use the singular they without realizing it when they don't know the person's gender. For example, someone has dropped their wallet. Some people only use one set of pronouns, while others may use more than one set. People may use different pronouns in different situations or when they present themselves differently, and it's not always possible to know someone's gender by the pronouns that they use.
In addition to pronouns, titles, honorifics, and other forms of address can signal gender. Common titles used in English include Mr., Miss, Mrs., and Ms. The title Ms, pronounced Ms or Ms, was introduced in the 1970s as a title for women to be addressed without regard to marital status, and it is now widely used, accepted, and understood. The gender-neutral title MX, pronounced Mix, Mux, or MX, was also introduced in the 1970s and has begun to catch on more recently. However, MX is not the only gender-neutral option available in English. Some examples include IND, PER, MUSC, and M. Professional titles such as doctor, professor, or principal similarly do not connote gender, and many people choose not to use titles or honorifics at all.
Here are some good general practices we recommend that can help us all to create a more welcoming environment for gender-diverse people. Try to avoid making assumptions about people's pronouns based on their name, appearance, or other factors. If you have any doubts or are unsure of what pronouns someone uses, it is best to ask the person, privately and respectfully, what their pronouns are, or default to using their name if you don't have the opportunity to ask. Pay attention to and make sure to use the name that someone introduces themselves with, especially if you've known that person by another name. Using someone's previous name shows disrespect and can be a form of misgendering. When referencing past events, use the person's current name and pronouns unless they've directed you otherwise. When addressing a group, use neutral collective terms. For example, use terms such as everyone, guests, colleagues, folks, or friends, instead of ladies and gentlemen or guys and girls. If you're invited to share your pronouns, feel free to do so. However, do not feel the need to provide an explanation, and remember that some people may not feel comfortable sharing their pronouns. Maintain these practices even if you know there aren't any transgender or non-binary people present. This helps to normalize the declaration of pronouns. If you're interested to learn more, there are resources available on the university website and online.
This information might be new to you, and that is okay. Even if you make a few mistakes along the way, adopting a gender-neutral language approach is an easy way to support and include everyone in our community. If you notice yourself using the wrong name or pronoun, correct yourself, apologise briefly, and continue, as you would if you accidentally bumped into someone in the street. Don't feel too guilty about it. A simple sorry keeps the conversation moving and avoids making either of you uncomfortable. If you find yourself struggling to get someone's pronouns correct, try practicing when you're by yourself by saying some sentences with their pronouns aloud. A gentle reminder can help friends and colleagues who are struggling to remember someone's change of name or pronouns.
Deliberate, repeated, or malicious misgendering can not only cause distress to the individual, but could also be considered harassment under the Equality Act 2010. If a student, staff member, or visitor comes forward with concerns about conduct or a complaint about being misgendered, refer to the suitable support role. If you have suggestions for how the university can better support trans and non-binary people, from educational experiences to hiring practices, or accessibility, all the relevant contact information is below. Thank you for watching. For more information about pronouns and gender-inclusive language, please read the university's Pronoun and Gender-Inclusive Guidance document. You can also contact one of the following for more information and guidance.